Nigeria Electoral Body, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC has rejected the petition seeking the dismissal or recall of the West Africa nation female senator, Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, who is currently representing Kogi Central Senatorial District at the Senate chamber of the country National Assembly, stating that the petitioners failed to meet the constitutional requirements for the recall process to scale through. This, apparently a continuation of the political drama that has ensued since the female senator accused the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, of sexual harassment. INEC, in a statement a few hours ago, narrated why the petition was rejected as presented verbatim below. The Commission held its regular weekly meeting today, Thursday the 3rd of April 2025. Among other issues, the meeting considered and approved the report of its physical count of the signatures, thumbprints forwarded with the petition for the recall of the senator representing Kogi Central Senatorial District, in line with Clause 2b of the Regulations and Guidelines for Recall 2024. The Commission had assured Nigerians that it would handle the matter with fairness to the parties involved and in line with the provisions of the law and our regulations and guidelines. First, we ensured that the petitioners complied with the requirements for the submission of the petition. Secondly, we notified the members sought to be recalled in writing, copied the presiding officer of the Senate, and simultaneously published the notice on our website. Thirdly, we informed Nigerians that the next step would be to carefully ascertain the number of signatures, thumbprints, to ensure that the petition complies with the requirement of the law. This exercise has now been completed. For emphasis, a petition for the recall of a senator must comply with the provision of Section 69 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999, as amended, which requires the signatures of more than one-half of the registered voters in the constituency. The total number of registered voters in the Kogi Central Senatorial District is 474,554. More than one-half of this figure, that is, 50% plus 1, is 237,277 plus 1, which is at least 237,278 voters. Across the 902 polling units in 57 registration areas and 5 local government areas that make up the senatorial district, the Commission ascertained 208,132 signatures, thumbprints, from the submission made by the petitioners. This translates to 43.86% of the registered voters, which falls short of the constitutional requirement by 29,146 signatories. Consequently, the petition has not met the requirement of Section 69 of the Constitution. Therefore, no further action shall be taken on the recall of the senator. In line with the provision of Clause 2d of the Regulations and Guidelines for Recall 2024, the Commission has issued a public notice to that effect, which is also copied to the presiding officer of the Senate. The public notice, along with a summary of the review of the signatures, thumbprints of the petitioners, which are disaggregated by local government areas, are available on our website and social media platforms for public information, said Sam Olamekan, National Commissioner and Chairman, Information and Voter Education Committee, on Thursday the 3rd of April 2025. Nigeria Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, on Tuesday was alleged to have planned with the immediate past governor of Kogi State, Okpebholo, to assassinate Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, the senator representing Kogi Central Senatorial District. The female lawmaker made the allegation in addition to her earlier allegation of sexual harassment leveled against the Nigeria third highest ranking government official, which led to her being suspended by the Senate for 6 months, and more actions taken apparently by her political enemies, who may have encouraged her constituents to file a petition before the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to recall her from the National Assembly, which she accused her political enemies of forging and gathering fake signatures to mislead INEC into doing a dirty job. As such, she was warned to cancel her homecoming rally and procession after the Kogi State Governor, Usman Adodo banned political rally and procession in the state. Subsequently, the Kogi State Command of the Nigeria Police Force issued a stern warning threat message on Tuesday morning that the political gathering may be hijacked by hoodlums based on intelligence gathering, but despite the threats, the people of Kogi State came out in a very large numbers to receive and honor the female senator who arrived the venue of the homecoming Saga celebration with helicopter. It would be recalled that there was a heated exchange that erupted recently at a Senate Ethics Committee hearing as Senator Onyekachi Nwebonyi clashed with former Education Minister Obi Ezekwesili over allegations involving suspended Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, with two apparently losing their manners and started using insulting and foul words on each other. Eve to the Judgment Day slated by the Edo State Election Petition Tribunal sitting in Abuja over the September 2024 governorship election outcome, the Edo State Governor, Monday Okpebholo, who may know his fate today, took to his personal verified X social media account, specifically at about 10 p.m. on Tuesday, to narrate the multiple battles is currently facing in office in recent days, remembering the teachings of one of the well-known political godfathers in Edo State and Nigeria politics, late Chief Tony Anenih, with emphasis on how his political enemies wanted him to fail over the 16 travelers killed last Thursday at Aromi town in the Essen northeast local government area of the state by irate mob over allegations that the victims were kidnappers terrorizing the community. Detailed accounts of the long thread of posts as published by Governor Monday Okpebholo on his personal X social media account on Tuesday reads verbatim below. The battle I couldn't afford to lose. There are moments in life when you are faced with multiple battles, each screaming for your attention, each pulling you in a different direction. It is in such times that wisdom, not emotions, must lead. Many years ago, I stood with Chief Tony Anenih in the car park of his home in Aromi, watching him navigate a storm of political battles. What surprised me was how calm he remained, almost too calm, except for one particular issue that seemed to occupy his mind. Curious, I asked him why. He started, Akpakamizer, as he called me. In life, when you are faced with several battles at the same time, and you do not have the resources to fight them all, you focus on the one that carries the greatest consequence if you lose. I never forgot those words. On March 28th, when the tragic incident in Aromi happened, that weight of leadership every leader knows became heavier. I was bombarded from all sides with diverse concerns. Your Excellency, you must not be seen standing against your people. You can't blame them. They've suffered enough at the hands of criminals. You are the governor of Edo State. Why are you going to beg northerners? You must bring the perpetrators to book. Justice must be served. On Friday night, while receiving a briefing from one of the security agents, he said gravely, Your Excellency, we should expect possible reprisals in the north, and even within Edo Central. At that moment, I knew which battle I could not afford to lose. I imagined families in the north, watching the gruesome video, seeing their sons, fathers, brothers, hacked down in a foreign land, far from home. The shock, the anger, the calls for revenge. I imagined the innocent traders, students, and workers from Edo traveling through or living in northern states, becoming sudden targets of retaliation for something they knew nothing about. I imagined chaos, reprisal killings in the north, counter-reactions in the south, travelers afraid to journey through parts of Nigeria, and our nation once again thrown into unnecessary bloodshed. No, that was the battle I could not lose. So, at 4 a.m. on Saturday, I left Abuja by road for Aromi. I needed to look my people in the eyes, not just read reports on a desk. I needed to hear their frustrations, their anger, and their fears. I ensured the bodies of the slain were recovered and transported back to the grieving families. I ensured the injured survivors received treatment and were safely reunited with their loved ones. I charged security agencies to go after the perpetrators. I engaged our northern brothers in Edo. I assured them that the actions of a few did not define our people. I believe a true leader does not let emotions blind him from doing what is right. Edo people are known for their hospitality, not hatred. That point had to be established. I knew the matter could not end in Uromi. I flew back to Abuja to brief the president and met with security chiefs to ensure national coordination. I engaged critical northern stakeholders, including Deputy Senate President Senator Barau Jibrin, to seek lasting peace. But I needed to go further. I had to face the grieving families directly. So, I traveled to Kano State to meet Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf, a man whose understanding and generosity in this situation I deeply appreciate. Together, we drove over 2 hours to Banka local government, where the families of the deceased were mourning. I will never forget that moment. The pain in their eyes. The way mothers held pictures of their sons, the weight of sorrow in their voices as they spoke. I had no words to erase the grief, but I had the responsibility to show that Edo State stands against what happened. I reminded them that many northerners have lived in Edo for decades, just as many Edo indigenes have lived in Kano and across the north. We are all Nigerians. Hate cannot solve this. I offered compensation to the grieving families, not because money can replace a life, but because responsibility must be taken. I also met with the Edo and southern communities in Kano to strengthen peace and assure them of their safety. Now, let me be clear, justice will be served. The 14 individuals responsible will face the full weight of the law. That is non-negotiable. Anyone who violates the law must face the consequences. But my first duty was to stop more blood from being spilled. To those who secretly hoped for mass killings and chaos, just so they could score cheap political points, you have been put to shame, and I know you now feel regret for your intentions. To those who feel disappointed, I understand. I am coming back home. I will sit with my people, as I always do. We will talk, we will heal, and together, we will find our own solutions for our own problems. Here is the lesson I leave you with. When life throws multiple battles at you, always fight the one that has the greatest consequence if you lose. That is leadership. That is wisdom. That is why I am here. We have reported that the Edo State Governor, Monday Okpebholo on Monday visited Kano State to sympathize with the people of the state over the last Thursday killing of travelers at Uromi town in the Essen Northeast local government area of Edo State, when some youths in the Edo community that have been experiencing incessant killings and abductions of the villages by suspected herders stopped a moving Dangote cement truck and found the travelers to be in possession of 19 locally fabricated guns, which some members of the public claimed the travelers were hunters traveling from Port Harcourt in Rivers State to Kano with the guns alleged to be licensed. This, the Nigeria police boss, the Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Egbetoken, apparently dismissed the allegations that the Dane guns were licensed, and probably described the victims to be in possession of illegal firearms, and thus, warned and directed anyone in possession of illegal firearms to surrender such to the nearest police station, and directed the Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of the Force Criminal Investigation Department FCID, Dig Sadiq Abubakar, to take over the case, with reports indicating that the 14 suspects arrested in connection to the mobbing and burning to death of the travelers, said to be 16 in numbers, may have been transferred to Abuja for police investigation. Nigeria Senate President Godswill Akpabio on Tuesday was alleged to have planned with the immediate past governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, to assassinate Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, the senator representing Kogi Central Senatorial District. The female lawmaker made the allegation in addition to her earlier allegation of sexual harassment leveled against the Nigeria third highest ranking government official, which led to her being suspended by the Senate for 6 months, and more actions taken apparently by her political enemies, who may have encouraged her constituents to file a petition before the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to recall her from the National Assembly, which she accused her political enemies of forging and gathering fake signatures to mislead INEC into doing a dirty job. As such, she was warned to cancel her homecoming rally and procession after the Kogi State Governor, Usman Ododo banned political rally and procession in the state. Subsequently, the Kogi State Command of the Nigeria Police Force issued a stern warning threat message on Tuesday morning that the political gathering may be hijacked by hoodlums based on intelligence gathering. But despite the threats, the people of Kogi State came out in a very large numbers to receive and honor the female senator who arrived the venue of the homecoming Saga celebration with helicopter. Natasha sang and danced with members of her constituency, and while speaking, she said, "Akpabio told Yahya Bello he should try and kill me, and he should make sure that killing me doesn't happen in Abuja. It should be done here, Kogi, so it will seem as if it is the people that killed me here." Channel's television reporter who monitored that the homecoming Saga celebration reported that Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan on Tuesday received a rousing homecoming from her supporters and residents of the Ehima community of Kogi despite the state government's ban on rallies and processions. As early as 8 a.m., her supporters from the 5 local government areas of Kogi Central Senatorial District that Akpoti-Uduaghan represents gathered at the Ehima community of the Okpebholo local government area to welcome the People's Democratic Party, PDP, lawmaker. Several local musicians took turns entertaining the people who attended the celebration while they awaited the arrival of the female lawmaker. It did not, however, take long before the embattled senator arrived at the place in a white helicopter, eliciting applause from her teeming, jubilant supporters. Yesterday, we heard on the news that rallies and gatherings will not be allowed, that roads will be blocked, and convoys leading into the state will not be allowed. I knew that we were the targets. But then I said, this is not political season, this is not campaign time, the lawmaker told her supporters and constituents. We are not having a rally. This is just me, the senator representing Kogi Central, coming down to her people to celebrate this festive time, the Saga with you, and there is nothing wrong with that. I am breaking no law. This is Nigeria, we have the right to be free, to express our choice in gatherings and celebrations, Natasha stated in quote, according to Channel's television. Natasha had earlier said in reaction to the security threat warning issued by the police that if anything should happen to her, the Senate President, the Kogi State Governor and the immediate past Governor of the state should be held responsible. My dear people of Kogi Central, I look forward to our peaceful Saga celebrations today. However, should we be met with or infiltrated by violence, Nigerians should hold Governor Ododo, Yahya Bello and Senate President Godswill Akpabio wholly responsible, she said. In a statement issued on Tuesday by the Kogi State Command's Public Relations Officer, SP William Ovieye, the police justified the ban, stating that intelligence reports had uncovered plans by hoodlums to hijack the event and cause unrest. Following the intelligence report on security threats in Kogi State and the subsequent ban on all forms of rally and procession by the Kogi State government, the Nigeria Police Force, Kogi State Police Command has called on the organizers of the planned rally at Anenih to cancel such an event in the interest of peace in Kogi State, the statement read. The police further emphasized that they would not allow any activities that could disrupt the prevailing peace in the state. The statement added, the call for cancellation becomes necessary, noting that intelligence reveals that some hoodlums plan to hijack the process and cause disturbance of peace in the state. The command cannot afford to jeopardize the existing peace the state is currently enjoying. In view of the security threat received on the planned rally, the Kogi State Police Command is therefore advising the organizers to cancel the event so as to avoid any breakdown of law and order in the state. As the command will not hesitate to apply the full wrath of law on anyone who causes disturbance of peace and order in the state. Despite the police warning, the Kogi Central Senator, Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan insisted on returning to her constituency for the Saga break, despite restrictions by the Kogi State government. In a statement released on Tuesday, the senator urged her supporters to ignore rumors that she had cancelled her visit. We are pleased to confirm that Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan's Saga visit to Kogi Central Senatorial District will proceed as planned, the statement read. Despite rumors circulating online, there has been no official announcement from our office regarding the cancellation of this visit. She emphasized that, as a lawmaker, she had a duty to her people and encouraged them to come out in large numbers to celebrate Eid al-Fitr with her. As the senator representing Kogi Central, Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan remains committed to engaging with her community and fostering a spirit of unity and cooperation. Her dedication to the people of Kogi Central is unwavering, and she looks forward to celebrating Eid al-Fitr with her constituents. We would like to assure the public that all necessary arrangements are in place to ensure a successful and joyous event. We invite all members of the community to join us in marking this special occasion, the statement added. The Kogi state government, while banning any form of rally and procession in the state, also restricted fishing and other activities, linking them to the recent deaths of 2 individuals in Kasemia, Katubo, and Umazu et in Kogi West. Kogi's Commissioner for Information, Kingsley Fanwo, stated on Monday that the ban aimed to prevent any security threats that could disrupt peace in the state. Fanwo added that intelligence reports had suggested some groups were planning to stage some violent rallies in the guise of political and religious agitations in Kogi Central. Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan, who was recently suspended for 6 months for protesting a change of seating arrangement, has also accused Senate President Godswill Akpabio of sexual harassment. It would be recalled that there was a heated exchange that erupted recently at a Senate Ethics Committee hearing as Senator Onyekachi Nwebonyi clashed with former Education Minister Obi Ezekwesili over allegations involving suspended Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, with 2 apparently losing their manners and started using insulting and foul words on each other. The Senate Ethics Committee hearing in Abuja took an unexpected turn last Tuesday as Senator Onyekachi Nwebonyi of Ebonyi North clashed verbally with former Education Minister Obi Ezekwesili, with the situation escalating into a shouting match during the session, meant to address sexual harassment allegations involving suspended Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan and Senate President Godswill Akpabio. Tensions rose when Ezekwesili reportedly asked Nwebonyi to shut up and called him a hooligan during deliberations. In response, the senator fired back, labeling her an insult to womanhood, and reiterating the same derogatory term. The exchange occurred after Ezekwesili declined to be sworn in as a witness, which Nwebonyi criticized. The senator later defended his remarks, stating he had no regrets about his response, as he felt disrespected by the former minister's comments. Despite the heated confrontation, Nwebonyi insisted he still holds Ezekwesili in high regard as a woman, but maintained that her behavior was inappropriate. Ezekwesili attended the session alongside Abiola Akinode, counsel to Akpoti-Uduaghan, and petitioner Zubairu Yakubu. Tensions rose when Yakubu attempted to speak while the committee chairman, Nida Imasuan, was addressing the panel. He was instructed to mute his microphone, prompting Ezekwesili to intervene. However, Nwebonyi, who was present as a witness for Akpabio, interjected, leading to a sharp exchange between him and the former minister. "Compose yourself and stop making noise," Ezekwesili told Nwebonyi. Angered by her remark, the senator fired back, "You're a fool. What do you mean? Why are you talking to me like that? I will not take it. You're an insult to womanhood. People like you cannot be here." Ezekwesili responded by calling him a hooligan, escalating the confrontation and briefly halting proceedings. Following the disruption, order was restored, and Imasuan announced that the case was now before a court, leading to an abrupt adjournment of the hearing. The female lawmaker, Natasha, had earlier in a press statement thanked all those who stood by her to file the sexual harassment petition against the Nigeria Senate President. In her words, she said, "I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to the incredible Nigerian women and the supportive men all over the country who stand by me in my pursuit for justice and fair hearing regarding my sexual harassment petition to the Senate. Your unwavering support, courage, and solidarity have been truly inspiring, and I am humbled and grateful to all. I continue to count on your support to insist that the Senate respects the rule of law, respects my right to fair hearing by reversing my illegal suspension and investigating my petition at the Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Public Petitions. Together, we have taken a stand against abuse of power, especially in a public institution like the Nigerian Senate, for the preservation of our democracy. Thank you for believing in this cause and standing strong with me. God bless us all. Meanwhile, Justice Obiora Egwuatu of the Federal High Court, Abuja, handling the suit filed by the suspended Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan seeking to restrain the Senate Committee on Ethics, Privileges, and Public Petitions from taking any disciplinary action against her, has recused himself from the matter. The embattled senator representing Kogi Central Senatorial District had dragged the Clerk of the National Assembly, the Senate President Godswill Akpabio, and the Chairman, Senate Committee on Ethics, Privileges, and Public Petitions to court seeking to stop any disciplinary action against her following her altercation with the Senate President. Justice Egwuatu had, on March 10, 2025, adjourned the matter till Tuesday, March 25 for a hearing of all applications filed in the matter and directed parties to file and serve all the applications before then. When the matter was called last Tuesday, Justice Egwuatu, in a short ruling, recused himself from the case and ordered that the case file be transferred to the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court for reassignment to another judge for continuation. The judge noted that his recusal from the matter was as a result of rumors of bias against him. Justice Egwuatu had, while ruling on an ex-parte application filed by Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan, granted an interim injunction restraining the Senate Committee on Ethics, Privileges, and Public Petitions from proceeding with disciplinary actions against Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. Despite the restraining order, she was given a 6-month suspension over a heated exchange of words she had with Senate President Godswill Akpabio during the February 20 plenary. She had protested her assigned seating arrangement, repeatedly raising a point of order despite being overruled. In response, the Senate referred her case to the Ethics Committee for review. On February 28, in an interview with Arise TV, Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan alleged that her troubles in the Senate began after she rejected unwanted love-making advances from Akpabio. In her application, she urged the court to declare any action taken during the pendency of her suit as null, void, and of no effect. Granting the interim injunction, Justice Egwuatu ordered the defendants to appear within 72 hours of being served to show cause why a full interlocutory injunction should not be issued against them.
Godswill Akpabio, bringing you the news in a more digital way.